so thirsty. I have to thirst my quench. That's how thirsty I am. It's the other way around. It's not quench my thirst. Thirst my quench. Sweet like any sweet. Shugela. Masvingo is a city in southeastern Zimbabwe and the capital of Masvingo province. The city is close to Great Zimbabwe, the national monument from which the country takes its name. The city was known as Fort Victoria until 1982, when its name was briefly changed to Nyanda. Within a few months, its name was again changed to Masvingo when it was discovered that Nyanda did not translate very well between dialects. It is the oldest colonial settlement in Zimbabwe and grew up around the encampment established in 1890 by the pioneer column en route to the eventual destination Salisbury, which today is known as Harare. The pioneer column left from Tuli in the far south of Zimbabwe on July 11, 1890 for Mashonaland, 117 ox wagons making it a providential pass, and C Troop of the police started building of the first Fort Victoria on August 14th at the site 7 kilometers south of the present town. By the end of the year, the water supply proved inadequate and the town moved to its present position, near the confluence of the Mucheki and Shagashi rivers early in 1892, and was named after Queen Victoria. In 1899, the town became known simply as Victoria. However, in 1917, it reverted to its original name of Fort Victoria until 1982. The old Fort National Monument is located in the center of town and was erected in 1891 as one of a series of fortifications to guard the route from Salisbury to the south. The very first cricket match in Zimbabwe is said to have taken place close by in 1890. The population was approximately 15,000 in 1970. It had a population of approximately 58,000 in 2002 and is said to have passed the 100,000 peg in 2008. Masvingo is located 292 kilometers south of Harare. Most of the local population belongs to the Karanga Shona ethnic group. It is divided into suburbs including Mucheke, Rujeko, Rodin, Target Copy, and Eastvale. Right, I got that bit off Wikipedia. Now, a little bit from my own Wikipedia. On this morning, we woke up very early. Tried our best to race up the Copy, which is a granite mountain, to grab one of the sunrises that we've been longing to see. And it just so happened that nature provided my cousin and I with the best sunrises we'd ever seen in our lives. The mist rolled in over and covered the whole town and the valley. We had climbed so high that everybody down below looked up and thought it was a cloudy day. We were above the mist, watching this beautiful orange and yellowy glowing ball rise up above the mist and the clouds. And we sat there reminiscing our days growing up and what a wonderful childhood we had. Growing up in a bush filled with wildlife, surprises and scares and danger and adventure, adequate for little boys. and we wondered how we got away unscathed, no snake bites. This is the town where my granddad and my father grew up. My granddad's got his farm to the left of where I'm filming. He is also buried directly down below this fog or mist that we are looking over. But on this particular morning, once my cousin and I had finished talking, we were able just to absorb and to remember the days that were so peaceful and joyful for us. And I'd just like to share a few thoughts with you guys as I speed up this video and you listen to these few things. A few quotes from a very old book that was printed way back when. And it says, "Two things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Oh, the joy of blue skies and pure air, of the song of the birds of mirth, of a home in the country where there is freedom from pressures and dearth. To be nearer to God in a garden than anywhere else on earth. What is the purpose of your being here on earth? What does Mother Earth have in store for you? What can the lowly soil do for you? A wise minister once wrote, only a few inches of topsoil separate us from death. Do you know the thrill of lacy sunlight beams filtering through the trees at daybreak? Sunsets caressing the western horizon or setting it aflame with a rioting of breathtaking colors, of lengthening shadows weaving dreamy fantasies into the depth of the soul, of myriad twinkling lights of the constellations in the deepening indigo blue sky of a crackling winter's night. Do you know the thrill of a warm wind drifting through aroma-laden atmospheres of a new mown hay, of breezes wandering from a wooded pinery or from the pure laden blossoms in an orchard, the heart-stirring rudulent bouquet of the wild honeysuckle vines, the sweet fragrance of the evening primrose while strolling under the unbroken canopy of turquoise skies as days melt into twilight. Concrete and brick structures, cement sidewalks and asphalt pavements are produced by man. What do? They serve to encase mass throngs of a heterogeneous humanity existing with no destination except their daily treadmill. Far too many deluded and misguided are beguiled into a maelstrom of metropolitan city life, not realizing or appreciating what their Creator established for their benefit at birth in the country atmosphere which they deserted. More and more men and women are moving away from the pressures and delusions of life in their metropolitan city to find vibrant health for their body, peace for their mind, a renewing of life and of purpose, a new confidence in themselves, and above all, a new faith in Almighty God and in the blessings which they have been waiting to be claimed by them. Solitude in a metropolitan city makes many people feel lonesome, isolated, neglected, and all too often rejected. In the solitude of life in the country, one can breathe the breath of liberty and freedom. One can vibrate to the vast expanse of nature filled with every good thing that man should want. In such peaceful environment, a person can feel God, can commune with God, finding rest, release, and consequent relaxation. Human lives are greater than all the brick and concrete structures of the city. In a metropolitan city, one cannot enjoy the wildflowers, the vast variety of birds, the joyful, frolicsome denizens of the field and forest, the streams and running brooks. The fields and woods provide a myriad assortment of edible wild plants, flowers, roots, berries, and abundance for the nourishment of man and his family. Would you sit on the bank of a river waiting for it to be dried? So you could, with nary a shiver, reach the bank on the either side. Such folks do not live, they just linger, to make a move they would dread. They even won't move a finger beyond where they've settled their bed. How many are ready to move and experience a joyous living? How beautiful this planet Earth, with all that mortal man can need. Of opportunities there is no dearth. Like flowers they blossom from a seed. How rich this day and generation, with opportunities on every hand, waiting for your resignation to return back to the land. Land which our fathers with their sweat and tears recovered for Almighty God, to live in freedom, free from fears, and cultivate this blessed sword. Whoever failed to love the calm and quiet moods of fleeting clouds o'er hill and dale, of bubbling brook amid the tangled woods, meandering through the moss-grown shale, blue skies, the silver clouds, and no discordant din, groves through whose broken roof the sun looks in, the flowers, the leaves, the hedgerow round the field, the pastel hues that stain the wild bird's feather, and flush the clouds which healed and healed, through April's breezes, sun and rain together, to change its costume to the blue of May, with fragrant roses and with new mown hay. So we sat here and talked and joked and reminisced and watched the sunrise and warm up and listen to the sounds of the morning. And then we made our way back down, had a good breakfast, and walked over to see my granddad's farm once again. I like to think of my granddad's generation, and also the one before his, as the last of the Mohicans. The last of the Mohicans. I admire that generation. They lived a simple life, but strived to improve. He himself built his home, his house, upon a rock. How many of you know that saying? Build yourself upon this rock. To date, the house is falling apart, but the rock still stands. He had a simple lifestyle. Went to fetch water from a bowl about a mile away every day, sometimes twice a day, for bathing, cooking, feeding his animals, watering some of his crops. And the rest of the crops relied on rainfall. And this is his workshop we're looking at, and he had a whole bunch of old cars lying all over the yard that he'd use for spare parts and to make donkey carts, or Scotch carts as we used to call them. He held many secrets, my granddad. He was a very skillful guy. This was one of the toilets that he filled up before I was born, and this was the toilet that we filled up during our time. The toilet goes down about maybe twice as deep as its height. And the farm is about 70 hectares. It goes up until the copy or the granite rock you see behind. The farm never had electricity, so my granddad grew up all his life without electricity and without pumped council water. Everything he had, he sourced from the land. Although he did hold down a full-time job, he'd wake up early in the morning, feed his animals, do some work in his workshop, and then cycle to work and come back in the evening and do more work in his workshop. This used to be a forge that he used to get us to work on, where he was a blacksmith as well, shall I say. Yeah, a blacksmith as well as a carpenter. So the forge was used to heat up the metal that it bang into shape. And behind those doors was where he hid away all the sweets and Coca-Cola nip bottles from us. What knives? What knives? Oh, okay. He truly was one of the last of the Mohicans. You know, this lifestyle is very rare, you hardly find it anymore. And if ever I go back to live this lifestyle in my life, I think I would have achieved my biggest dream, my biggest goal. Those who can simplify their life and return back to the land, in my opinion, have achieved the biggest goal the human being has done, to return back to the land and to try and return back to the way God had originally designed us to live, or to get back to that way of life as close as possible as it was originally designed.
You can pick up some nice ones on the floor.
You can, but not between stones.
I just blow them.
I'm blowing.
Yeah, there's nice ones there. That's a big ones there.
I'm going on a bus
pick up
just now, eh?
my toto now.
I'm going on a bus just now. I'm going to behave myself.
All these things.
I don't even remember this guava tree being here.
All these things.
There's more here, Mackie. Nice and low. Yeah.
After the guavas, this one has this one is pretty good. Take yours.
Is that one ready?
Yeah. Is it ready? Don't know. No, it's not. Too late. I'm already. So feel free to let me know in the description box down below if any of you long deep within your soul to return back to this land. Wherever you are on this planet Earth, let me know how you've left the cities and gone back to the land. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.
igama lakho liphaliwe enhlizweni yami angekho omunye ngimthandayo ngaphandle wakho yathotobala anginawe yebo ungavusa umusi wakithi awungenzi umuntu